call the February 22nd Recreation Committee meeting to order. The agenda is on the table for those in attendance if you'd like to follow. Do you want me to? Do you want to take it, or do you want me to?
I mean, I can put the job descriptions up on the screen if you want to go through them one at a time, just a cursory overview and see where we're at, see what we like. This was looking at some neighboring municipalities and borrowing some of the things that I thought were lacking in our previous ones. And this is what I came up with, but again, this is just a very preliminary draft of it. So, do you want to start with lifeguard first?
Sure. Yeah, what is it? Those are your agenda sheets up there?
Yes.
They're all right.
Okay. So the job description of the lifeguard will be appearing on screen. My overview of the description. Yeah. Yeah, it's funky. Seems to be in line with the qualifications as required by American Red Cross. I do think we can maybe, I think we can relate age 15, is that what I heard? Is that my?
They are taking 15 in
Instruction.
Correct. Yes, you could lower it, so that is certainly an option for the borough. Previously, here it had been 16. You could do 15. Another thing while we're on that topic, that there are. We're just last week. No, one of the other things that some folks, some other municipalities are doing is they also have something called the shallow water guard, which for the younger folks who may not feel so comfortable, their requirements like 3.5 or 3 feet depth, I think it is. So they can do like kiddie pools and those type of things to kind of work up if you have a 15-year-old who's not necessarily comfortable doing the full scope. And they may make a little bit less. I did not do one of those, but I mean, if that's something we want to explore, I can certainly do that. But yes, 15 is an option.
It's something to consider depending on the turnout we get for applications. Does anybody in attendance have questions on what they're seeing? Is anybody in attendance?
What you can see is, looks like it's what a lifeguard is.
Yeah, I mean, once we go through tonight, before I put them out, I mean, eventually they're going to go on the website, obviously, for the public, but I mean, certainly if you want to take a cursory look once, I want to make sure council or at least the recreation committee was okay with them, and then we would move along, and I think we will.
I think we just need permission. We've got a number of boards we intend to put this on, okay, that are focused at the young people. So as long as you have it, I mean, it's fine. Is there, I mean, if you go back to the beginning, I mean, what I would ask is after you do that, even if we could take a stab at just what I'm going to call an executive overview that would go in front of this saying, you got 16, you got to life saving, you got to do that kind of thing, just so. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're working for the borough, so ultimately.
No, I don't want to make it for you. I just, I'll make a suggestion.
The only thing I can think of in this one is under tools and equipment, we don't really let the lifeguards back into the filter room, just the pool manager and head lifeguard.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, under tools and equipment use.
Yes.
The general lifeguards don't really go into the filter room, or at least use those items. Just the pool manager and the head lifeguard would be testing the equipment and only the manager.
What about maintenance equipment, skimmers, extension poles, that stuff?
Yeah, because they will be skimming the water and stuff, or something, leaves or whatever. But the actual
Vacuuming the pool is maintenance, something else, right?
vacuuming the pool is done currently by Public Works.
There are a number of places that the guards do that. It'll help if I push my button. There's a number of places where the guards do that prior to like the start of their shifts. So You know, that's one of those things that when I looked around, like maybe that's not something we require, but if it's something we could potentially ask them, I'd sooner advertise that up front as a, hey, you know, as you progress in your lifeguard duties, you may be asked to, here, we'll show you how to run the vacuum.
We used to do that
Yeah, we used to do that too all the time. I mean,
every morning.
Well, who's gonna do that again? Big part of it.
Currently, it's done by Public Works.
Now you're taking public works away from.
Public Works has been doing this for a few years.
Yeah, they do it. That's what they do every morning. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the, when we get to the schedule and some of the thoughts of the activities, that's one of the challenges in fitting everything in is that, you know, the morning duties of Public Works to get the pool operational and ready to go every day certainly takes some time. So, and manpower.
Yeah, that's the thing.
so who do you want on that? I mean,
Well, I think that's probably a discussion we'll have with Public Works. I know when we used, I have to use my microphone. I know when we used to do it, there were sometimes issues with getting the pumps to work for vacuuming, and I don't know how much responsibility we want to put of that onto younger lifeguards. I think it's probably something the pool manager and head lifeguards could handle. I mean, I definitely think it's something lifeguards can handle because we did it, but it's also up to Public Works on who they want touching the equipment.
Yeah, I mean, I think this year is probably going to be a slow learning curve because the reality is we're probably not going to have anyone or very few people who have been here before. It's not like we're having repeat folks coming back, like hopefully we will in the future. So I would sooner ease into, as you have folks who are willing to take on more responsibility and show that they can do that, starting to learn some of those things from Jason and his staff, that, all right, here's how we do this every morning, and that may be something that we take off of Public Works to enable them to, you know, paint more alleys and do some of the other work that's out there. So, again,
girls call.
yeah, that can be a work in progress.
How many public works people actually work at the pool? Yeah, anyone.
Well, right now, Jason's the only one certified.
Well, certified to the equipment, but as far as vacuuming, anybody.
Yeah, anyone can
Anybody
vacuum.
vacuum?
How many do you normally put up there in the
I
morning?
know, I
Jason?
vacuumed
No, I'm
years,
behind.
but-
Jason, how many guys do you put up? How many guys do you usually put up there in the morning when it was open?
So normally it would be one or two guys, myself and somebody else, possibly a third guy, depending on what had to be done.
Alright, I guess, I'm fine with that review. I think there's no other questions or comments.
No, I took that out from the filter rooms, so that's taken care of.
I guess the next one we'll look at is head lifeguard.
Sure.
You know, like that. So the head lifeguard position is kind of like a step between the lifeguard and the pool manager. Acts as the pool manager when the pool manager is off. So the idea is to either have a head lifeguard on duty in charge or the pool manager on duty in charge. Obviously, the head lifeguard, we usually had 2 of them hired. Takes on a little bit more responsibility, would also have the same, would not necessarily be responsible for scheduling. That would fall under the purview of the manager, but for following up with scheduling, and if somebody calls out sick, be responsible for getting, you know, coverage as needed in the absence of having the pool manager on. Again, pretty much everything follows exactly as the lifeguard. This person would have access, I think, to the filter room because they would be acting as the pool manager when the pool manager wasn't there, and they would have to test the water periodically, so.
Couple of things that I saw from other places that I listed in here that we could certainly strike, but lifeguard instructor, water safety instructor preferred, so certainly not required,
Right.
but if we can attract folks. Additionally, the 2 seasons of paid lifeguard experience, obviously that may not be from here, but if we can get some folks with the competitive pay we're offering to come with experience for these head positions, that would certainly be
Absolutely.
very good for the borough.
Right, absolutely. Again, I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. Does anybody in the gallery have any questions, comments? No? Okay. Moving along then to the pool manager. Again, we have listed 18 years of age, but I don't think that really matters. I mean, if they have the experience and they had the time to do pool management, we certainly had somebody young managing a couple of years ago. And did a fine enough job under the direction of the YMCA. So a younger person might take a little bit more hands-on experience, but I think it would be fine.
Yeah, we left. If you look, I mean, it's got preferred in there. So,
Right,
you know, again, I don't, you know, the right candidate at 17 or 16 even, I don't
Right.
think that's a, so.
Yeah, and I think that another key thing to notice is that they would be responsible for scheduling and maintaining lifeguard drills and training periodically throughout the summer, just to make sure everybody's up to date and active and paying attention. If you don't practice the skills, they go away. Any questions, concerns? Again, I think it's pretty self-centered, and nothing out of the ordinary from what I've seen previously or experienced. And then the last one then is the pool cashier. And again, we do have 16 years of age, if we could consider lowering that to 15, we might get applicants.
Does it? That's the thing. I would have to look at that.
Okay.
You could work. Use my own microphone. You could work at 14. So I don't know though yet if you're handling money, but we can certainly get an official opinion on that.
Okay. So let's keep that
How many
open.
people come with cash?
Quite a bit.
They do?
Mhm.
Oh, mostly.
Really?
Because it was all cash. We didn't
As opposed to passes and.
well, the last year we did it, we didn't have any passes because we had a late
Short
season.
summer, yeah.
But beforehand, it was still mostly cash. I would say on maybe 10 out of 30 people that would have passes.
Yeah, I don't think we sold very many passes that previous summer before COVID hit.
As someone who never carries cash, I'm amazed at the amount of people who pay their bills at the window with cash.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's still a lot of the population that does that. So and the other thing being, we charge our credit card processor charges us a 3% service fee. So you know, obviously being small, we pass that along. So
Sure.
that would be the same hurdle with I'm sure we'd run into up there in the days of having I can't think of one of the systems now off the top of my head, but some of you pay with your
Square or
phone.
something.
Square, thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. You know, those types of
But
things.
then you need a tablet, you need.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A phone or something.
So, and again, this I went off of what we had and what other places had when I did some research, but having not been here during the pool open, certainly anyone who's worked in that capacity or worked at the pool who recognizes that there are things on here that, may have been how it was written, but not how things are done. I'm open to any and all suggestions to change that. It was a little hard for me, again, just because I don't have the perspective of being here for a season with the pool.
No, nothing looks out of the ordinary or like something people haven't had to do previously, so, nothing crazy or out of that would not necessarily be part of a cashier job. Any questions for
What are you paying them?
$12 what we have.
$12 for the cashier.
Yeah.
What's the manager?
25,
And the head lifeguard?
20, and 18 for lifeguard is what's proposed. So,
Okay.
and again, we'll have this discussion with the full body of council tonight, but that was preliminarily, that's where we were kind of at to be competitive. So,
That's what I'm seeing.
would it benefit for your outreach if instead of doing an executive summary for each one of these, if we did like a one sheet for all four, like all the different positions we're hiring for with a brief blurb and a rate?
I'm just saying, this is fairly long, for a job board. I'm only looking for an executive summary, then they could reference whatever you have online here. to see-
Well, and that's what I'm wondering is if I just don't put Fountain Hill Pool's hiring for the following positions: pool manager, $25 an hour,
Yeah.
and a quick blurb.
Yeah.
These, and then you've got
You should refer to that. and-
you've got a one sheet, and then go to our website where these are all posted, and then you don't have to carry around a piece of paper. I tried to keep them close to 2 pages, but it gets
No, but even so,
lengthy
they're
quick.
detailed enough that it is what it is. Yeah, you're right.
But I can do that certainly, once we settle on it, is put
Full
something together.
descriptions go to.
Yeah, exactly. I'll put them on the website, but then we'll get something out there that's eye-catching enough that says, here's what we're hiring for, here's the rates, go here for more information. And even put a QR code on it that links to our website, so I can create one of those.
Perfect.
I like it. I think these are fine for me. I'm happy with them. We have a quorum. I'm happy to promote this to full council. Do you have any questions, Bill?
No, no, offhand.
No, okay. Great. Pay rates, I think we kind of covered the same thing.
Just roll right into that.
Yeah, so, the next thing on the agenda is volunteer VOTEC labor for repairs. In regards to the pool.
I know we talked a little bit about it at the last council meeting, and it doesn't seem to be any opposition, especially for the VOTEC side, but also, rolling into the volunteers to do the caulking. What I guess, and we don't even really need a motion tonight, but I would like to go ahead then and add that $300 insurance to our policy, and then officially open the dialogue through whoever Mr. Zofko's contact is at VOTEC to get this moving forward.
Yeah,
So
I'm fine with that.
Just an update, we talked to VOTEC on Friday, we talked to all the teachers on Friday morning. And there's a lot of opportunities for these young people with their supervising faculty members to come and do work, literally at no cost or for community service, or if there is a cost, it's very minimal. And for example, with the caulking thing, I talked with the instructor from masonry, and he's very interested in having his people do that as well. Now, the coalition is basically one of finding this for you, okay, and then delivering that contact and facilitating that conversation to make that go forward. We're going to be, or we are certified now as people that can award community service hours to the students. I don't know if you are or not. If you are, great. If you're not, if you are good. If not, okay. What I'm getting at is the kids can get their service. Okay. So there's a number of different opportunities here, and again, this is what I'm going to call young people doing labor under supervision. This is not. They're not putting in electrical panels. They're not doing that kind of work. Okay. But there's a lot of opportunity here, and we can avail ourselves for it, about it, and get some good labor, get some good skills, and help our local kids learn a trade. I mean, I don't know how this is not a win-win. So,
no, I agree, and I think that's like I said, my hope for tonight, and as you and I discussed, is then we'll link up with their folks, and honestly, that's a conversation to kind of put them in touch with Jason. I'll handle the logistics of it, but doing it, yes, Jason.
So that's what I need to be clear on. Who manages these? Is it my responsibility to manage them, or they manage themselves?
Well, they should be under supervision.
they'll be under,
By who?
They're teachers, the VOTEC instructors.
So who will they? All right. That's
I don't know. We're going to get you guys together.
They'll report to Eric.
Well, that'll be a good plan, because I know absolutely nothing about masonry, so I don't change the oil in my car, so I don't know that you want anybody reporting to me.
All I'm getting at is we can get together and do the ground.
We'll figure it out. I just need a contact, and then we'll iron out all those logistics. That's what I'm good at. Not
Consider us conduit. That's all we are. Okay?
And then, repair progress?
so. Westside Hammer was there yesterday, or right yesterday and today. Are they done as far as we know? Or?
I don't know yet.
All right, but anyway, the electrical work is underway.
Would have reported back they were completely finished, but they were there till the end of the day today.
So that is should be done. Yeah, I would say this week. We are in contact with the company to come out and look at the pumps and get that underway. And then our plan now is to leave the pool down because we don't expect a deep freeze. So then it'll get painted, and the pool itself will get, if there's any cracks that need addressing, Jason and his guy will take care of that. And then we will fill it and try and determine if we still have a leaky problem, because we have a leaky problem. We do right now. But before putting all that water in it to have to drain it again to paint it, we're just going to let it go down, paint it, address the cracks that we find, and then put water in it and troubleshoot from there, and back down into the storm sewer we go. So
We've had a leaky problem for years.
I think it's a little bit worse now, right, Jason? It hasn't been this significant in years past.
I'll be honest with you, it's pretty significant.
So we got to find out. Yeah, I mean, so that's something, but I mean, at least we're trying to do it in a logical order here that enables us to get things done, that we're not filling the pool, draining the pool, filling the pool, draining the pool, and just working smarter, not harder to get everything on a timeline to be able to open, so.
Okay. Per potential partnership for lifeguard training?
So, I believe the coalition, and it was Bethlehem Township, you guys were able to forge for what, $250 a person, right? So, I was gonna say, so Allentown's willing to do 200. Once a month, they run a class at DRF, minimum of 4 people. They will do $200 per student. So we have as many seats as we want, and again, as long as they have 4 in there. The person, I have all the information if we decide we want to go forward with that. I have all the information, the person can register themselves. The question is whether we want to provide some sort of funding assistance for that, or if the coalition wants to see if you can sponsor a lifeguard for $200 and send folks to school. But there's literally a class a month all the way up through June that they're running at Deerfield High School, so it's not even that far. And like I said, they were willing to do for us $200.
Okay.
I know if
The
you.
best we did was $250, but $200,
I mean, listen, I just want options. I just happen to have a little bit of influence there, so and some friends, so we were able to work something out that benefits. And honestly, it benefits them because they're running the classes, they have 4 people, or they're running the classes, they have 12 people. So if they can help us out and promote aquatics, and that's really the goal. So I think it's a win-win, and Deerfield's not really that bad compared to some of the other alternatives. So for folks to get their kids there or whomever, and we're at least trying to make it affordable. We can find benefactors to cover it. My concern right now is that that's something the borough wants to undertake. It was certainly not budgeted in the budget. And my fear is, if you open that door and we get 30 lifeguards this year, which is phenomenal, we're locked into paying for, that we don't have budgeted. So that's my only concern with that.
I think it's probably something that we can consider depending on how it is on turnout and patients, it was certainly something that we used as a priority to get people in the door previously, so we'll probably leave it off the table unless we get this.
And we can also try a sponsorship part. I mean, we do that too.
From a
that-
rural perspective,
Yeah, no, I mean, but I would say though that if there is a commitment on the side of the borough to pay for that training, there needs to be a counter commitment on the side of the lifeguard that we have before.
Oh, yeah.
I just get your full year, and then maybe even a second year.
So what I was thinking is you construct that in a way that even if it's fundraised by the coalition or the donations go to the coalition, that you then facilitate that, we'll call it a scholarship, through the borough, so that as a condition of their employment, they sign something that says, I need to stay for 1 season or 2 seasons or whatever that may be, to make sure that we're not losing that investment. We just recently added that for public works folks. We'll pay for your CDLA, which is an astronomical amount of money now, and off you go with no requirements. So we corrected that as well. I agree. I think that's something we need. We're making the investment. We
I
need
don't know
to
what
do
our
it.
hammer is here, or either side, you know what I mean, if they say forget it, okay, after the year.
Yeah, no, we did it through the live previously. It was after the end of the season, paid out any kind of hiring bonus
gets a little bit hard with folks because, I mean, even if you're talking college kids or high school kids, you know, your dynamic changes from this year lifeguard's a really good thing, but I decided I want to be a mechanic, so I'm going to do next summer I'm going to work for a guy in his garage because that's more in line with my career path. Like, that happens with kids. I think a 1-year commitment is.
Yeah.
Well, even if we did a 2-year thing on the side, I'll talk to the coalition, I guess. You know, as long as you say that, you know, I don't know how enforceable that is, but at least it's a thing. Okay, say, oh God, I'm really stuck with this. Who knows? I mean,
You get paid for it, you hire for 2 seasons, depending on who you want to pay out.
Yeah, we craft that however. So,
There's all kinds of ways.
Jason, are you interested in doing lifeguard school? You have your hand up.
No, absolutely not. But I know that one of the other communities, what they were doing was making a designated amount of hours served, and pulling that.
Yeah, based on probably 30.
you know, we want them to work, right?
Yeah, 35 hour week.
So I think it was based on a season. They had to provide so many hours per season
Yeah.
in order to get reimbursed.
We did, I think that's pretty much provided, as long as you're there all summer.
Yes.
Yeah, and then every
In anticipation of this, we've been out on the streets looking for lifeguards, and we're finding swim coaches are really interested in this possibility, okay? So we're going to be meeting tomorrow.
And it'd be awesome, we used to have a swim team, we used to have a great,
Yeah,
actually.
so maybe these kids are certified as well, but they're swimmers and they're strong, and we can see if we can do that.
I think that's a great thing. I guess you can review the proposed activity schedule. That's next.
Yeah, let me find that, because it was an email that I had printed.
You got it?
You got it?
I have it.
I can't put it on.
That's okay. So going over it, it seems that most days we're starting at 8 a.m. The only, with Saturday, I don't see anything on the grassy area or in the pool until 10 a.m. And same for Sunday, but, for Monday through Friday, I do see pool activities starting at 8 a.m. And that might just be a problem only because we need to get people in, public works, there's so many in there to get.
So why don't we put it this way, as the ultimate manager of the pool, that's a proposal, okay? So, should you say, well, you know, guys, it's not really working, and, you know, we wanna make it 9 o'clock, or you wanna make it this, or you wanna make it that, and it doesn't have to be every day as well. You know, in the swimming lessons, which I hope to lead, okay, that can't be the entire summer, okay? Swimming lessons are 2 weeks, you know, usually beginning of summer, okay? So it's really, really flexible. The idea of that was to give you a menu of things that we could offer, okay, that we think people would be interested in at all ages. So how the details of that, the details of that are essentially, you know, how the thing works out. But the only caveat of that is we have people that are willing to instruct those things on a cost basis. Okay, I think I explained it once before what that means.
Yeah.
So, and how they would work is essentially up to you. I mean,
Cool. I think all of these are great ideas. I love the idea of alphabet. I've been trying to push that myself. Get somebody in here to do it because we need the space for it, we need perfect pool for it. Yoga, all these things, we definitely have a grassy area to do, like, kind of kids path or even an adult.
I think Mr. Trammell's interested in yoga.
I have a question. A lot of this stuff is for 8 a.m. in the morning for like basic adults, who be busy senior citizens.
essentially would be that, I would say
In the smaller
in the
pool.
smaller pool, okay?
Yeah.
So, again, I think also what would tell is what kind of activity the pool gets at different times. As I recall, about 5 o'clock, the place pretty much closed down. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people in.
No. The optional classes that I've taken, they like to have you in like 4 or 5 feet so that your arms get a little bit of the resistance from the water when you're doing
Yeah.
but yeah, I think you still
So,
have a pretty
all of those are possible.
Yeah.
Whether we have them all or not, I'd consider half of them a major victory,
Yeah, absolutely.
frankly.
Jason had, so you,
Okay.
I don't know.
The early mornings for me creates a problem.
Okay.
What time do you meet? What
I
time,
would say 11 o'clock would be the earliest anyone could enter into the pool more.
what time do we normally open in the past?
Noon.
Okay.
We used to come in, when we opened at noon, we would come in at 10 or 10:30 to vacuum and get the pool ready.
Well,
So,
I mean, I don't know what the physical shape of the borough is, but I don't think there's a lot of people that age around to be doing aqua Zumba for more than an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they.
But,
Well, again, the place has to be cleaned, the place has to be ready.
right, so I'll work with Jason in Public Works and see what we.
And if there's ground stuff, again, that's up to you too. My thinking is that I'm gonna say 70% of the people that might take advantage of this won't be going in the water,
Yeah.
okay? They'll be on the deck or in the grass here. So,
I appreciate your proposal, I like the idea of these classes, and swimming lessons, I like the different types of classes, we'll just, again, figure out what times we do that. But, yeah, I'm fine pushing this to council.
Yeah, like I said, that was my only reason for putting it up here today is not that we need to settle this out, but more just to involve Jason in the conversation, just to understand how their morning routine goes and everything, because again, I haven't been here for a summer that I was open, I've been here for a summer, only last year, and I wasn't open, so. Jason?
One of the other questions is the pool manager. I know we've always battled with this in regards to who decides whether the pool is open for the day and not open for the day.
The pool manager in concert with the borough
Okay.
manager and or myself.
Are you talking about weather or?
So weather.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that'd be
There was always a
Collaborative.
discrepancy on at least somewhat of a discussion in regards to who's making that call. Like, if no one's showing up, if the lifeguards are staying there to accommodate, 3 people, 4 people.
So I think that's one of the.
With the rates
things-
going as high as they are, I think
So
it's
in the past, right, we had our own hires. We had a pool manager, everything was hired through the borough, and the pool manager made that decision. That person was also, in my experience, usually somebody older, probably a teacher, who, was experienced in running and having discipline and doing that. And then the Y took over managing, which is totally fine, but there was always the person that made the decision at the Y was
and how many guys are we going to, who's going to take the test with me?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, at this point, we're working on our core with the guys. So the core and then the category, I believe it's 24,
Yeah.
is an additional rider which they need. So they may have the core in the next couple of months, weeks, but they won't have the category yet because they haven't gotten into studying that.
All right. That's how I incentivized the Public Works guys to go. I told them I'll take it with them. So we're going to go.
Yeah, because
I had
in all
chemistry in
honesty,
college. Could happen.
I'm the only person that holds the pool license. So if I go on vacation or I'm sick or I'm anything, the pool can't function. Legally, it cannot be tested by anybody else other than myself. So.
Right. Any other questions about the pool? All right, moving on to the parks program. I reviewed some of the information that you gave me in the registration form. I don't have any questions on any of it. It all seems very,
Yeah, I think she did a wonderful job with it. So
I'm very pleased with what Haley has done, and I'm happy to push this to.
one of the other points of discussion that she had asked me about is, that 9 o'clock end time at night is very dark for a lot of small kids that are walking home without parental supervision. So she had asked, and I don't know how this would be received, but doing almost like a 9 to 12 break for lunch, 1 to 4 kind of all day thing versus the evening where it gets late because her feedback was there were a lot of kids that were wandering home in the dark at night. Again, I don't have the historical perspective of the evening program and how entrenched it is, but I did say I would bring that up to her.
Yeah, we always kind of did it split because kids tend to go to the parks program in the morning, go swimming, come home, eat dinner, go to the playground. That's the typical day of a Fountain Hiller kid in the summer.
Yeah, and last year probably skewed it a little bit without the pool, so you certainly have that. And again, I told her, I have no dog in the fight, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
So I would bring it up here. I do get the merit of the concern with the 9 p.m. shutdown, but again, if you move it 5 to 8, that's dinner hour.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we do that and try and see how many kids show up at 5 o'clock. Maybe they eat their early dinner, just to avoid that 9 o'clock. Because it is. It's really dark.
Shut down a little bit earlier, as it's, as the summer kind of winds down, it does get darker earlier. If they want to start shutting down at like 8:30, that's something we can talk about. But I'm keen. I'm of the mind to keep it 6 to 9, as it's been traditionally for decades.
Okay. And again, I told her I would pass that along and based on her feedback. But again, last year was kind of an outlier because. Excuse me, we didn't have the pool, so you had a lot of kids who milled around for the afternoon. So
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else? Does anybody in the gallery have any questions, comments, anything they want to add?
I just have one last question. We indeed want to get going on this. We have been doing this in anticipation, of the pool opening. Is there, maybe tonight's the night you're doing it. When can we move ahead?
So we're going to present these job descriptions tonight at council for review, and then probably we can vote on them tonight. If we can do that, great. If
it's
not-
an agenda item. So certainly it's under old business, but we certainly can decide to take action on them. And I don't even know honestly if we need a formal vote for. It's just reviewing and consensus of putting a job description out there. But my goal would be to get them out after this, as long as
Okay.
Yeah, I
Council's
think Phil and Phil, are you, Will isn't here, so it's just you and I as the quorum. As long as you're okay with these job descriptions, I'm happy to recommend that we accept them at council. And pay rates, okay. So, as long as council accepts them, then we can move forward tonight.
Okay, fine. By the way, if we post on anything on a job board, Eric, I'll make sure you're copied on all of that, okay, so you know what's coming, okay? Just
Yeah.
making sure everybody knows what.
Yeah, no, and the easiest thing to do is, you know, obviously steer them to the website. I would like to get to the point where we automate our application. It's on my list of technology to update, so hopefully
Okay.
sooner than later.
So, you know, feel comfortable that you'll be notified.
No, hey, the more the merrier, so I appreciate that.
Yes. Anything else for privilege of the floor? Okay, well then, I am going to call the recreation meeting closed and, we'll be back in about 20 minutes for the general meeting. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
We can stay.
Hi, how are you? Good.
No, I'll stay. We okay?
They had all the materials in the packet.
Yeah.
I'll hang out.
If you want. I think we're going to dinner.
What?
I think we're going to dinner.
Yeah, I know.
Restaurant.
Okay. I changed it to,
If you're staying for the meeting.
We're spread out.
oh, great, thank you. And you give me these electronically, right?
Oh, yeah.